Please click on the subscribe button so you get notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
Time for my 5 flaming hot picks for week 7, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Let's do a little bit of a recap on week 6. We went 4-1 on my picks last week. I was right about the Texans minus 6.5 over the Patriots. Blew them out. Drake May had a great debut, but they still got blown out by the Texans 41, I think, to 20 something. The Eagles on the money line over the Browns. I said that I wasn't confident, even though they were getting a lot of their weapons back, but because they were getting their weapons back, I wouldn't be surprised if they covered, but because of the Nick Sirianni drama with the organization, I thought it was a safer bet to just bet the Eagles to win the game, and I was right. They didn't cover the point spread, but they did manage to hold on to a 4-point victory. The Commanders plus 6.5 to cover over the Ravens. I was wrong about that one. It was a 7-point game. It's okay. We ain't gonna get them all 5-0 each week, but we bounced back. Lions minus 3.5 over the Cowboys. They got their asses beat. The Dallas Cowboys got their butts whooped, and now they're on a bye week, and the Lions are feeling very, very high and mighty about themselves, and I'm going to tell you why I don't like them this week. Then we got the Bengals on the money line against the Giants. Bengals were able to cover the points, but because I wasn't too confident in their defense, I just didn't think it was going to be a 10-point game. Good for them. It was 17-7, but we made our money because we bet the Bengals on the money line, ladies and gentlemen. So 4-1, winning week. That's what I like. And now let's get into this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first game I like for week 7 is the Bills minus 9 over the Titans. Why do I like the Bills minus 9 over the Titans? Because I believe the Bills are a great team, great defense, and they're not just relying on Josh Allen. Yes, at times they have been a lot, but I feel like the offense is more spread out, even though they don't have stars. And now they have the addition of Amari Cooper. They have a bona fide, I believe, number 1 receiver. He hasn't been playing to par in Cleveland, but that's because Deshaun Watson has been struggling, and they can't protect him in Cleveland. They can't give him enough time to get the ball out to Amari. So that offensive line in Cleveland is atrocious, and Deshaun Watson is looking total ass. So with that being said, because of Amari Cooper being on the team, all the other weapons that they have now are going to be more open because of the attention that Amari demands. With that being said, the Titans are starting Mason Rudolph this week, and the offense under Mason Rudolph looked great, but I still think the Bills defense is substantially better, and they're going to be able to stop Mason Rudolph, and I think they're going to be able to blow him out. The Titans haven't faced any good quarterbacks this year, in my personal opinion. They faced the Bears in week 1 when it was Caleb Williams' first game. They faced the New York Jets, who we know this entire season, their offense has been atrocious. The first time they faced a decent quarterback, and they didn't even face a decent quarterback, they faced a good head coach, Matt LaFleur. It was the Malik Willis revenge game, and they got run up 30-14. Yeah, their win against the Dolphins was 31-12 with Mason Rudolph as the quarterback, but we realistically don't give the Dolphins any real chance of winning without Tua at the helm. Skylar Thompson is not a good quarterback. Tyler Huntley, for some reason, he's regressed, and I think that's part of the reason why he was on a practice squad and not on a roster this year. And then last week against the Colts, Joe Flacco beat him 20-17. So Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, who is a great quarterback. Give it to the Bills to blow out the Titans, even with Mason Rudolph starting. The second game I like is the Vikings minus 1.5 over the Lions. The Vikings are coming off a bye week after they were able to hold on to a victory against the Jets in London. Sam Darnold looked shaky in that game, but after the bye week, I believe Kevin O'Connell is a good head coach. I think he's going to be able to get the most out of Sam Darnold, especially now that the Lions are missing Aiden Hutchinson. I like the Vikings to be able to put up points against Detroit, especially because they're reeling at this moment after a week where they were so high. They demolished the Dallas Cowboys. They're riding high even with the loss of Aiden Hutchinson. This week I think they come back down to earth, especially because it's a divisional rivalry game, and I like the Vikings this week to go 6-0 and the Lions to lose. I just believe Brian Flores, he's a good defensive coordinator. He's going to be able to lock up Jared Goff and not allow him to do much. I'm benching Jared Goff in my fantasy football league because I believe Geno Smith is going to have a better week against Atlanta than Jared Goff is going to have against the Vikings. And The Vikings are minus 1.5 point favorites for a reason, coming off a bye. I like the Vikings minus 1.5 over the Lions, especially because they threw everything at the Dallas Cowboys. I think they used most of their secret plays, in my honest opinion. And yeah, you can always make more, but just saying, riding high, especially because that was an emotional game after the way that they lost last year in the regular season when it should have been the Lions' victory. I forget what the situation was, but I remember that the Lions should have won that game. The third game I like is the Bengals on the money line against the Browns. I'm on a bit of a roll when I call the Bengals on the money line, and I am intending to keep that streak rolling. Whenever I predict the Bengals on the money line, we've been right. I'm not betting the point spread. I don't think I'm going to bet the Bengals on the points at all this year because we on fire until we lose. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now, with that being said, Joe Burrow is 1-5 against the Browns. That cannot be understated. But because of how bad the Browns' offensive line is, because they have now lost Amari Cooper, I believe the Bengals are going to be able to beat the Browns head up. It's a divisional rivalry game. I don't like the points. I will not be picking the points for the Cincinnati Bengals, but I will be picking the Bengals to win this game. Whether it be a 3-point game, whether it be a 10-point game, we're going to make our money as long as the Bengals win this game. And I like Joe Burrow. I like T. Higgins. I like Jamar Chase. They're coming together. They're starting to get a semblance of a running game, but their defense played great against the New York Giants without Malik Neighbors. I know. But now Cleveland doesn't have Amari Cooper. Their offensive line is atrocious. And I genuinely believe the Bengals have an opportunity to just win this game straight up. Even if they cover the point spread, I don't care. We're just going to make our money. Okay. The fourth game that I'm taking is the Commanders on the money line against the Carolina Panthers. The reason why is because 9.5 points for a rookie quarterback at this point in the season. I understand it because Jaden Daniels has been playing phenomenal, but I still think it's a little bit too much. And I do believe Dave Canellis with Andy Dalton as his starter can put up some points, especially against the Commanders defense, who at times have been looking shaky, but have been able to come together as of late. I know the Commanders are coming off a loss last week and they want to get their aggression out. That's why I wouldn't put it against them to be able to cover the 9.5 points. But I want to make money this week, and the safe bet here for me is Commanders to beat the Panthers straight up. I like Jaden Daniels. 9.5 points is too much for me. If this was a 7-point game, I'd probably be taking the money. I'd be probably taking the points for the Commanders. But because this is a 9.5-point game, close to 10 points, I'd be inclined to take the Panthers, but I think the Commanders are going to be able to win. And whether that be a 10-point game, whether that be a 5-point game, I'm just going to be betting the Commanders to win straight up against Carolina. Now, the last game that I like, that I love actually, is the Chargers minus 2.5 over the Cardinals. The Chargers are, in my opinion, a great team. They have the defense coming together, playing phenomenal football, and they got Justin Herbert. That's all you really need. The run game has been phenomenal this year. I know they've been dealing with injuries on their offensive line, but I still think the Chargers are a team that is a tier above the Cardinals, especially on talent on both sides of the ball. I feel like the Cardinals are in the middle of a rebuild. Essentially, I know they got their quarterback in Kyler Murray. I know they got their new number 1 receiver who's supposed to be Marvin Harrison, who hasn't quite hit like everybody's expected him to hit. Everybody's talking about Malik Neighbors, not Marvin Harrison this year. So I'm taking the Chargers minus 2.5 over the Cardinals. I just think as a whole unit, the Chargers are put together, and minus 2.5 points, I could see you gotta take the Chargers minus 2.5 points over the Cardinals. I love this game, and I think the Chargers as a whole unit, especially with Jim Harbaugh there, minus 2.5. Gotta take Chargers minus 2.5 over the Cardinals, especially this week, ladies and gentlemen. So that is my 5 flaming hot picks for week 7. Bills -9 over the Titans. Vikings -1.5 over the Lions. Bengals on the money line against the Browns. Commanders on the money line over the Panthers. And the Chargers -2.5 over the Cardinals. Make your money with the king. Guys, please subscribe, like, and comment on the video. Share this with your friends, families, and partners. Make some money with my picks, listen to my sports takes, or just watch for some positivity. Always remember, desire is power, and if you desire to be great, you have the power to be great. Stay tuned for my weekly picks, ladies and gentlemen, and let's make this money for the remainder of the season. Love y'all.
Guys, have you heard? Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.